it's been a while, but I am back and I am going to try my very best to try and get on here as much as I can and upload educational videos. And I thought while I'm here, I may as well wear, oh my gosh, because this is mirrored, I've just rubbed my chest. Liquid lipo. I'm also wearing my liquid lipo top, so if you would like more information on liquid lipo, please do not hesitate to get in touch. And you know what, I might even at some point do a cheeky little YouTube video on liquid lipo. You never know. So when it comes down to today's video, I'm going to be talking about hyaluronic acid, as you may have seen from the title of the video. I want to go into a little bit of detail as to why hyaluronic acid is so important within our routine and what it is really. I know these videos have been really helpful so far to current clients that come to me and also people that may ask for advice. Sometimes I do feel like a broken record. If I have quite a few skincare clients in one day, hyaluronic acid, salicylic acid, niacinamide, going through everything, it's a lot. So this is why I've done these videos, so that you can literally refer back to if you want to listen to me and repeat things and listen to things again and understand in more detail exactly why you're applying a certain skincare product. I also will link some of my favourite hyaluronic acid products below and some of the ones that I do use myself and also ones that I use within treatment. Now I'm going to mainly focus this video around over-the-counter hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid is mainly one of those products where if you want to put any money into a skincare product within your routine, I say with cleansers, there's not really much point as it goes on and you wash it straight off. But hyaluronic acid is one of those products where you want to choose a good one with good molecular weights and good molecular compounds, which I'm going to go into. Hyaluronic acid. Acid, I understand, and I even say this to some people and they go, oh no, you're not meant to apply that more than 2 to 3 times a week, are you? And I'm like, no, literally. Hyaluronic acid is nothing to do with AHAs, which are alpha hydroxy acids, check out my video, and they are nothing to do with BHAs, which is something like salicylic acid, again, check out my video. So hyaluronic acid is a bit confusing because I can understand that the word acid may put you off applying it to your skin, but hyaluronic acid is naturally occurring in our body anyway. It's essentially a drink for our skin. So like we would say drink water internally and our skin can kind of massively improve or massively benefit from a drink of water, applying hyaluronic acid to our skin can have the same effect but just externally internally rather than internally externally. It will all make sense. When it comes down to hyaluronic acid, you may have heard of it before because it is in quite a lot of skincare products. It's in even some injectable treatments such as dermal filler. So when you think about maybe having a dermal filler treatment such as lip filler, or maybe a chin enhancement, or maybe a cheek enhancement or augmentation, that is hyaluronic acid. It's just a synthetic and thicker volume essentially, or a thicker consistency. So when it comes down to hyaluronic acid, it's naturally occurring in the body. Our body already naturally makes it. And over time, obviously, that lessens as we age, such as things like collagen depletion and elastin depletion, things like that. So this is why it's beneficial for people to have things such as filler within the face to replace lost volume. And this is why as a skincare product such as a serum, hyaluronic acid is so important, so important. Hyaluronic acid is a humectant, and a humectant is something that binds to water. Hyaluronic acid is known to hold 1,000 times its weight in water, which is why when we apply it to the skin, we get that fresh, plumped look. We're essentially giving our face moisture. So if you've not got it in your skincare routine, I really hope you do after this video. Now, there are certain ways in which we apply hyaluronic acid to the skin, and you'll know more about this if you've watched my two-tone or not to-tone video. When it comes down to hyaluronic acid, it needs to be applied to a damp surface. Because it naturally binds to water because it's a humectant, if we apply hyaluronic acid to a dry skin, it will still bind to water, but it will draw the moisture out of the skin. We need to apply hyaluronic acid to a damp skin from something such as a spritz in order for the hyaluronic acid to work properly and push moisture back into the skin. It is quite confusing, but once you have it in your routine and in the right order and in the right place, it will all make sense. And I have so many clients that literally will send me their routine over. I say, do this and then this, or do this and then that, and it makes all the difference to their skincare routine just by literally mixing up where they put something in or literally adding something like a facial mist or spritz in between. And I am going to talk a little bit about the products that I like to use, and like I've said, this is more of an over-the-counter version of hyaluronic acid. Obviously within treatment with myself, I may use more a clinical cosmeceutical form of hyaluronic acid, which essentially the molecules are a lot smaller, which means they will essentially reach deeper into the skin. So I'm going to go a little bit into the molecular bonds and the molecular compounds of hyaluronic acid. So when it comes down to applying hyaluronic acid into a skincare routine, it's important to understand the order in which they are applied. So in an ideal world, we would cleanse the skin. We would pat the skin dry with a clean towel. We would then go in with, say, something like a facial mist or spritz that contains something like glycerin, rose water, hyaluronic acid, something that is just refreshing on the skin surface. Nothing like an AHA, which is a toner, that would essentially break down the dead skin cells, something like glycolic, retinol. We don't want to be applying those at this part of the routine. So when we have the old-fashioned cleanse, tone, moisturise, it's kind of out the window, and you'll hear me speak about this in my two-tone and not to tone video. But when it comes down to our skincare routine, once we've cleansed, pat the skin dry, spritz your face with a facial mist or spritz that's hydrating, and then apply hyaluronic acid in a patting motion all over the skin surface. This just helps with the way that the product essentially absorbs into the skin, not then pulling or tugging at the skin. When we apply oils, that's a completely different story, because obviously we want to enjoy the fact that we are massaging the skin, and this is where we can use things like gua shas and jade rollers, etc. One tip that I've come across recently, which I'm going to start incorporating into my own skincare routine, is that once you have cleansed, patted dry, spritzed, and then hyaluronic acid, you can then spritz again to essentially sandwich that in. Because hyaluronic acid is a humectant and it binds to water, you are essentially just giving your skin that extra little boost. So please do use that and let me know your feedback. Talking about hyaluronic acid and the compounds and the molecular weights and bonds, this is where, when I say at the beginning, hyaluronic acid is something that we should put our money into. It's all about finding the right hyaluronic acid of the right molecular weights and the right compounds to do what it needs to do for your skin and work properly and effectively. If you go for more of a budget priced hyaluronic acid, essentially when you apply it to the skin, it's going to work instantly. But the minute you then cleanse your skin that evening, you're essentially wiping it away or cleansing it away. So this is where it's important to look for multi-molecular weights when it comes down to hyaluronic acid. Multi-molecular weights means that you're essentially getting your low molecular weights, your medium molecular weights, and your high molecular weights. So when it comes down to these molecular weights, when they're all together, they are known as multi-molecular. It's just finding the right range of weights within a skincare product or within a hyaluronic acid that is going to do what it needs to do for your skin correctly and effectively. So the downside to multi-molecular weights and the way in which multi-molecular weights are advertised is that it may not have a wide range of multi-molecular weights. It could literally have one of each, but it's still classed as multi-molecular. So this is where, when it comes to skincare, you do need to do your research if you're wanting to apply something that has science behind it and proves that it will do what it needs it to do for your skin. When I speak about budget skincare ranges that use hyaluronic acid, when I talk about maybe brands that have not that many molecular weights, and when you then cleanse, you're essentially cleansing it off your skin. This is where the higher the price range, you tend to go with hyaluronic acid, and this isn't always the case. It's not always about money when it comes down to skincare, but this is where you can put it into this product. But when we talk about the fact that we are using maybe a multi-molecular weight hyaluronic acid of a price range maybe in the 30s or 40s, maybe even 50s, the chances are that has low, medium and high molecular weights of all different sizes. The lower the molecular weight, the deeper it will reach within the skin. The higher the molecular weight, the higher the molecule, that will target the surface skin layers. So it's the skin time to talk about this. I don't think I've been on here with this before, and I don't know why, because I really enjoy it. I thought this was a great representation when it comes down to skincare to show you where hyaluronic acid essentially penetrates to, depending on the molecular weights and the formulations that you can buy. This is our skin. And if I turn it this way, you'll be able to see A, B and C. So A, we have our epidermis, then we have our dermis, and then we essentially have our subcutaneous layer, which is our layer of fat. So these are little hairs. I might come on here, do you know what? I really enjoy this. I don't know why I've not been on here already with this. I really don't. It comes down to hyaluronic acid and where it penetrates to in the skin. This is how we're going to understand that when we put money into a product, The ones that contain low molecular weights or more low molecular weights are the ones that are going to be more longer lasting than, say, one that doesn't contain as many of those, and when we cleanse we're essentially removing it. The more that we use a hyaluronic acid with a multi-molecular weight and ones with low molecular weights, the longer lasting results we're going to get, and over time we're going to notice more of a difference than, say, we were using maybe a budget price brand that didn't contain that many low molecular weights and they were more high. At some point here now, there should be my diagram I've drawn helping you understand as to what level the molecular weights or molecular compounds essentially go down to. Low molecular weight are smaller, so they can penetrate deeper. High molecular weight are bigger, so they can literally only touch the surface layers of the skin. So hopefully this gives you a good representation as to where hyaluronic acid essentially will sit. So if we go back to the diagram here, your low molecular weight will essentially be to maybe here. Then your middle molecular weight will essentially be to here, or your medium molecular weight. Low molecular weight will be to around here, which is obviously the deep layers of the skin, and that is what we want hyaluronic acid to do. So when you think about maybe what we spoke about before, fillers, when we inject those, we're injecting them obviously quite deep into the skin. A lot of those are injected to bone, which is underneath these layers of skin, to replace the lost volume. So this is where it is important when you choose a hyaluronic acid to choose the best one for you. Now, when it comes down to my skincare clients, a lot of my clients come to me with absolutely no skincare routine, or maybe ones that don't even understand what hyaluronic acid is there for, genuinely think they're applying an AHA to the skin or a BHA. So when I advise a skincare routine to a lot of clients, I do go budget priced hyaluronic acid, because it's easier to do that to start off with, to one, help clients understand why they're applying it, and two, actually get a routine in place. Once that routine is in place and you have a really nice kind of cleanse, spritz, hyaluronic acid, maybe a niacinamide, you've got a nice routine with your exfoliators such as an AHA, maybe a BHA, skin treatments, maybe benzoyl peroxide cream, something like that, and then you can start to incorporate things like retinols. You can then expand on your skincare even more, but it's so important, rather than just jumping straight in head first with skincare and going for the best of the best. I feel as a professional it's more important to actually get something in place first and build up from that. The budget priced, or maybe the more affordable molecular weights that you can buy on the market, or hyaluronic acids that you can buy on the market, tend to be around the 5 mark. If you go more up the levels or more up the ladder to go more premium high street ranges, you're looking at around 15 molecular weights. And this is where I want to talk about some of the products that I use within treatments, that I recommend to clients, etc. My favourite is the Ordinaries. So I don't actually like the Ordinaries hyaluronic acid, and I think it's B5 because it pills on the skin. And this is something that I might talk about frequently in certain videos, but pilling is essentially when you apply either too many skincare products or products that literally don't like each other, and it feels like your skin is literally rolling away, but it's not. It literally is just the product. Your skincare will essentially still work, but it just doesn't feel nice on the skin. So I have tried that, I've tested it, and it is just not for me. So whenever anyone asks me about an affordable, budget priced hyaluronic acid, my go-to is Marine Hyaluronics from The Ordinary. And I absolutely love this product. It literally feels like water on the skin. When it comes down to any form of hyaluronic acid, unless you have other products within your routine that maybe contain a hyaluronic acid, I would be applying this every single morning and every single night. Now, as mentioned before, I kind of recommend all my clients to go for something like this within their routine to start. Once you're happy with your routine, you can then expand, and like I say, you can put more money into products. So one of the high range end products that I like to recommend to clients, and it just depends on your budget range as well. When it comes down to skincare, obviously a lot of clients that come to me have spent money on a treatment. I don't then expect you to go and pay £40, £50 on one skincare product. I much prefer sending you away with a very affordable skincare routine to actually kickstart your skincare. But the more that you come to me, the more I can recommend certain products to add in that aren't going to break the bank, because I'm telling you to buy so many at once. Now, this is one of my absolute favourite hyaluronic acids, and this is from the brand NIOD or NIOD. Still not sure how you pronounce it. I don't think I'll ever know, because every time I pronounce it, I think I get it wrong. This, in fact, is from the same umbrella family as The Ordinary. So I don't know if people know this, but The Ordinary are a brand known as DECIEM. DECIEM is an umbrella, and underneath the umbrella brand of DECIEM, or I think it's right, so it's either DECIEM or DECIEM. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that's a bit of a mouthful. I do. So I think it's DECIEM, but I'm still not 100%. A little bit upset though they've been bought out by Estee Lauder, so if you need to buy any products from The Ordinary or DECIEM, get them ordered now. When it comes down to these two products, they are literally the same brand, but one is something stupid like £5, and I think this is about 38. And it's all just down to the molecular compounds and the molecular weights and the amount of different weights there are in there. Within DECIEM, we have The Ordinary, which is their budget range. We have Hyaluronic, which is their middle range. And then we have NIOD or NIOD, which is their premium skincare range. Now, Hyaluronic is beautiful as well. The only thing that I'm a little bit like this with Hyaluronic is that I focus on the formulation in the sense of, I don't want a spot treatment, I want an niacinamide. Just because then you understand exactly what you're applying to your skin, and there might just be that one product in there that sends your skin off on a breakout. So I do like Hyaluronic. It's just finding the right skincare products for you. They do some beautiful, beautiful spritzes though, so please do check them out. But literally, these are the same brand. It's just the different molecular weights and the different molecular compounds that essentially make it a better product. So there is no harm in buying this, and like I say, I recommend it to pretty much everyone. But if you've got the money and you want to put it into your skincare routine, please, please, please buy this product, because it's absolutely beautiful and you will notice a difference pretty much straight away when you apply it. And this isn't where hyaluronic acid ends. This is just me comparing two to show you the difference. It's all about educating yourself first on why you're applying a certain product, and then from there, you can then expand and trial out different brands. Just because I'm saying these are two that I like, and one's budget and one's more premium, there is more premium than using something like the NIOD or the NIOD one. I think it's NIOD. There is more out there, and these are just over the counter. These are just high street brands. We then have cosmeceutical and medical brands that we can then explore, where the molecular weights are even smaller, so you're going to get an even better result. So going back to what I mentioned before about spritzes and the order in which you would essentially apply a hyaluronic acid, I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the spritzes that I use within my clinic. This is Clinicare, and I'm sure I can get this in for clients, yes I can, and I'm sure I've linked this in one of my other videos as well. Now, the only reason that I want to essentially show you this is because this also has, I'm turning it the wrong way, hyaluronic acid in it. Oh, there we go. So as you can see on here, it literally says LMWHA, which means low molecular weight hyaluronic acid. So low molecular weight are those molecules that are going to reach deeper within the skin. High molecular weight are the ones that are more superficial, well, more surface layer hydration. This product is absolutely brilliant because not only is it doing the job of creating a damp skin surface for me to then apply my hyaluronic acid, but it also has 5% hyaluronic acid in it and low molecular weight compound. This is linked, if you do want to have a look or maybe purchase it, in my two-tone or not, I keep mentioning that, don't I? Two-tone or not tone video. Definitely check it out, have a look into it, have a read, but this is just a very basic starter as to what to look for within a hyaluronic acid. There is so much more to skincare, and skincare is so complex, as is our skin. But I just felt like this was a good little way to explain a little bit more about how hyaluronic acid works and how hyaluronic acid works with our skin. I want to talk about, and I literally can't wait to talk about when it comes down to doing YouTubes, because I really enjoy doing this. Do you know what it is? It's just the editing time that really gets me down. But I need to pull myself together and get over that, because I actually do really enjoy doing this. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do what you've got to do. Get me everywhere. Come on, my 27 subscribers, need more than that. I hope you found today's video quite educational, and after listening to this you understand the purpose of hyaluronic acid, what it's all about, what it does, how to apply it, and what to look out for. I hope to see you on my next video, whatever that may be. What I talked about, forgotten where I'm going with this. So,